Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
So, I hope you're well. I hope you had a good night's sleep. If it's morning for you, I see that some people are also joining us from North America. So good, not morning probably for you. Probably early evening, something of that sort. And let us approach the theme of equanimity once more and from a different angle. I think that if you or anyone turns to life, the world, and I'm keeping these terms kind of open and vague intentionally, and even if you have clarity about your wish, to reduce suffering, so if there is this compassionate intention, but there are no maps and no modes of translating the world of experience into simpler streams and layers and levels that can be approached in a clear and simple way that contributes to the reduction of suffering. If there aren't these maps, it can be very confusing. So even if there is the wish to reduce suffering, so the compassionate intention, but there are no maps to simplify the experience and kind of make sense of it, then things can be, probably will be, very, very confusing. And that's really part of what the Dharma has to offer. The Buddha was genius in so many ways. And one of the ways in which his genius kind of came through is in creating these maps, these terms and ways of approaching experience that makes it simpler and more approachable, so then you can work or practice or approach with this intention of reducing suffering. Now, the Dharma is especially and maybe only interested, or let's say especially interested, in suffering that this heart and mind create, or in the way this heart and mind are participating in the creation of suffering now, and that we can see and reduce, right? So the suffering that comes from this heart and mind now, let's split it otherwise, it comes from this heart and mind, it's now, and you can approach it and reduce it. Any other kind of suffering, I will, for now, in the context of this practice, I would put it aside. the participation of the heart and mind in the experience of suffering is, well, you cannot kind of put a line and a limit and say, this is the amount of suffering that's there for me, and this is the participation of my heart and mind, and there's a clear boundary. There is no clear boundary. And the participation of the heart and mind in the creation of the experience of suffering can be more radical than one may think. And that's good news, because it means that you can approach it in the moment with the intention to reduce this participation, and with that, reducing the suffering, and you can do that. And the more you practice, and the more kind of nuanced and sophisticated your practice is, you have more ways of approaching and more ways of reducing the kind of participation of the heart and mind that creates more and more suffering. We spoke about the 8 worldly conditions. I don't know if the Buddha calls them worldly winds. I think yes, but I'm not sure. If it's not him, it's from somewhere in the tradition. But there is this kind of description or line, worldly winds. And it's a good description. They blow, and they're not completely in your control. And you don't know where they will blow and when they will blow. And really the question is like, how much are you impacted? And what can you do to make this heart, to make this being, make this mind, in a way, less vulnerable to these worldly winds? Not in order to be disconnected or kind of above it all, but actually, equanimity with regard to these things is one of the things that help the mind and heart find layers of existence, modes of existence, planes of existence that are profoundly beautiful, profoundly touching, in a way very, very intimate, in a way very true, sometimes much more true, or generally we could say much more true than the kind of conceptualities of success and failure and praise and blame, all of these areas that, how can I say, there is a lot of artificiality and fabrication in the way they are created and perceived and sensed, actually. And we can teach the heart and mind to go to areas that are more honest, are more true somehow, and correspondingly more liberating. Today I wanted to take things even one step kind of simpler, to simplify things a little bit more, and we will come back to the thing about success and failure and some of these things in the next sessions. But today I wanted to approach a level that's simpler than that, and many of you probably know this level. This is the level that the Buddha called Vedana. Vedana is a very simple movement of the mind, or an aspect of experience. It's that aspect of experience that makes it so that any experience, and this is true for any experience at all, outer, inner, very gross, very subtle, besides a very particular, how can I say it, very particular realms in which this experience can actually fade or cease or become very, very quiet or gone completely, and this is very rare. Besides these areas, it's the aspect that makes any experience pleasant, unpleasant, or somewhere in between. Neutral, indistinguished in that sense. That's Vedana. And it can sound like it's such a mechanical and boring thing. Right? It's like, who cares if an experience is pleasant or unpleasant, and it can sound very reductionistic. But actually, being sensitive to Vedana in a helpful way is a very effective doorway to seeing something of the empty nature of more constructed experiences, maybe at some point even the empty nature of this Vedana itself. But for our kind of orientation, it's a really good doorway to relax the relationship with whatever pushes and pulls and entangles the heart. Now, the fact of existence of Vedana is not, obviously, it's not enough to be liberating. You actually need to do something with it. And what do you need to do with it? You need to be aware of it, sensitive to it, in a way that allows and invites a certain letting go, a certain relaxation of your relationship with whatever Vedana. Non-equanimity comes from, or one of its roots that we can kind of track and find and work with, is reactivity, pushing and pulling with regard to Vedana. And Vedana is a very simple category. It's even simpler than, these pairs of opposites of success and failure, praise and blame, etc. We can say that it somehow correlate to the set of pleasure and pain, or maybe even completely correlate to that. Probably not 100%, but quite correlative. So the invitation, in actuality, in practice, practically, is to make yourself sensitive to Vedana, which is your subjective answer in the moment to the question, is this experience pleasant or not? Or maybe it's neutral. And there will be a kind of subjective answer to that always, even if you can't feel it. Everything has Vedana, the temperatures, the sounds, things that you're not even kind of completely aware of or conscious of, they have a Vedana. The body and the heart responds to them, and that response includes the kind of judgment of, is it pleasant or not? And it responds to them accordingly. Now, the pleasantness or the unpleasantness is not a feature of the sound, the temperature. It's a feature of this heart and mind responding to it, right? Currently, the temperature is a little bit cold, so it's a little bit of an unpleasant Vedana. But if you would take me from a very cold place and place me here in this same temperature, the Vedana of it would be probably extremely pleasant. And not just kind of mildly unpleasant as it is right now. So it's not in the thing, it's in the heart's response to it. But in practice, maybe it doesn't matter so much. You can just be sensitive to the experience, to your sense of, is it pleasant or not? And then the invitation is to really allow it and allow it to change. So in a way, we're not really stepping away from the line of practice of being at peace with a stream of experience. But we're kind of inching, I think is a word, or kind of inclining a little bit to that aspect of the stream. All right. Let me look on the chat. If you wrote something like that you can't hear me. No. Good. So let us practice a little bit. Please find your way to a posture that works for you. You can practice sitting, of course. You can also practice walking, standing, or lying down if you have a sense that that will be the most beneficial thing for your body and heart. Perhaps arrange a little bit the body with the supports for your sit. So you are sitting as comfortably as possible, and also allowing and inviting the body to be open and upright. And take your time with this. The posture is a part of practice. It doesn't need to look perfect from the outside. This really doesn't matter, but see if there's a way in which it will feel really good, that it gives you support. A sense of a good basis. And that is balanced with uprightness, openness, alertness. The posture can reflect a balance of ease and energization, ease and uprightness. And then it's easier for the heart and mind to tap into such a balance. Then you can scan your body, relaxing whatever is tense. You can begin by scanning intuitively, relaxing whatever is tense and can be relaxed. Then we can do it a little bit more systematically. So Starting from the top of the head, touching and relaxing there. Moving down to the back of the head. Down to the forehead and then in and around the eyes. Down the face. Touching and relaxing into the jaw. Then moving down, sliding down to the back of the neck and the throat. Down to the shoulders, touching and relaxing there into the hands, all the way to the palms. Then down the spine. From the base of the skull or the back of the neck, all the way down to the tailbone, relaxing the spine. Expanding to the whole back, the right side and the left side of it. Then around the tailbone and into the legs, all the way down. Relaxing the feet as well. And then returning to the belly and chest, touching and relaxing those. Then you can make yourself sensitive to the whole body and do another intuitive scan. Sensitive to the whole body, perhaps you can feel the stream of goodwill, the stream of kindness running through the being. Or you can remind yourself of this intention using metta phrases. Towards yourself, towards others, people that are close to you and people that are not. like we did yesterday, we will start with a little bit narrower location in the body. But you can have the sense of your whole body, or even of the vaster space around you in the background. That can help you monitor your attention in relationship with experience. So with this background in the whole body, or wider than the whole body, you can feel into the midline of the body, the different waves and movements and swirls and all sorts of things that can be sensed there. And if it feels right, you can come close to one spot there that feels interesting somehow. It can be as narrow or as wide as it feels right. And you just come close with your attention. Let your attention be very alive, but receptive, soft. There is no need to apply any pressure. And just invite yourself to come very close to this experience. However it is. Change, movement is surely an aspect of this experience, so you can tune to this aspect. See if you can allow change. Cultivating this lens of at peace with the stream of experience. You can also notice another level or aspect of the experience. which is the intuitive response to the question, is this pleasant now or not so much, and how much? And usually it's not black and white, but there is a kind of spectrum between really unpleasant to really pleasant. So where is it right? Where is it now on that spectrum? And trust your intuitive response and see if you can allow it, welcome it. Welcome the pleasantness, the unpleasantness. And the small changes that are happening all the time. This needle always moves. The experience becomes slightly more pleasant, slightly less pleasant, in a way that's quite unpredictable. So if you want, if it feels right, just tuning to this level of things, the Vedana of things. From this same angle, at peace with the stream of experience. This does not tend to be the default mode. So you'll need to remind yourself. Tuning to the Vedana, however it is, and welcoming, allowing it, and welcoming the change of it. At peace with the stream of experience. It's not your job to make things pleasant or unpleasant. We're relaxing the reactivity, pacifying the relationship. Now you may notice that sometimes there is a kind of accumulation of reactivity. So that something around the Vedana is kind of inflating, or trying to push some unpleasantness away. if and when that happens, you can relax it sometimes by just relaxing the body. The reactivity is creating bodily tension, and the relaxation of the bodily tension can relax the reactivity. Or you can be a little bit more sensitive to the change of the Vedana. And sometimes that can help or broaden your attention. And then come back to the angle of welcoming. If you want, if it feels right, you can invite your attention to expand. Become sensitive to the whole body and invite your sensitivity to be even a little bit wider than the physical body. Noticing all the different textures and vibrations in the field of the body. And it may be a little bit obvious that there are a lot of different Vedanas you can sense right now, depending on what you're focusing on. Be intuitive with it. Make yourself sensitive to the stream of Vedana that refers to whatever feels prominent or to the totality of the bodily experience. The Vedana is your subjective and intuitive response to the question, is it pleasant, unpleasant, and how much? See if you can track these responses, because that's where reactivity is getting built. So you track the Vedana and you allow it. At peace with the stream of experience. Allowing it to be pleasant, allowing it to be unpleasant. Relaxing that part of the mind and the body that tries to push and pull it so it's only pleasant or just not unpleasant. Relaxing this part of the heart and mind, expanding the awareness. Welcoming the Vedana, pleasant or not. Just this very simple level. Your attention can be very light and very alive. If you do notice a swelling up of reactivity, which will be a natural part of this territory, that's actually an important thing to notice. Is there a way to deflate this bubble of reactivity? Just relaxing the body or allowing things to move and change, a little bit more sensitivity, or widening the attention. Let your mind be easeful. Let it become very wide. Much wider now than the boundaries of the body. Open to sounds, open to everything, internal and external, equally. And anything that is perceived, big and small, comes with a Vedana. The feeling tone, it's either pleasant or unpleasant or somewhere in between. Give yourself the gift of sensitively welcoming, of being at peace with the stream of experience. Here you may notice thoughts or movements of the heart and the mind. They are experienced with Vedana too, of course. So you can look at them in this same way, from this same angle. Is it pleasant, unpleasant, neutral? Can I truly allow it or welcome it? Just practicing this poise of peace. At this very basic level of the stream of experience. Towards the end of this practice, you can relax your attention a little bit and then let the mind take note of whatever was helpful or feels like it has a kind of potential to it. And then you can invite your posture to relax and your eyes to open if you want to open them.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.